Hello, once again. It is time to take a look at what's happening in the world of markets. I'm Susan Littlefield, and joining me today is Mike Zuzolo. Mike, of course, is with Global Commodity Analytics. And Mike, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we are trading on a non-tariff news day.
For right now.
Yeah.
I had to give a pause there, Susan, so that we could say ... for right
Yep.
now. Yeah, no, that's right. I think we really are starting to play a little bit more supply demand number kind of music right now in terms of what the trade is listening to. We've hit the pause button on the row crop slide since the WASDE report. I think those South American supply demand numbers, especially for Argentina, made a big difference in the trade sentiment to start the day. And even CONAB's number for Brazil in terms of soybean production, while it was up a little bit, it's still down a couple, 3 million metric tons from where USDA's WASDE numbers were. But the Argentine corn number coming in at about 44.5 million metric tons from Rosario Grains Exchange compares to 50 million from USDA just earlier this week. So I think the trade's waking up to that. We're seeing the spreads a little bit firmer as well.
You know, I thought about that when I saw those numbers and the change that they made. It just shows maybe how much drier it is than what we had been told earlier.
Yeah, and you've got issues in southern Brazil that have not gone away. And so we know Rio Grande do Sul is about done harvesting. They've lost about 30%. We still have some key other provinces, though, that are still in drought, still could see their yields trimmed. And this is where Argentina literally had 78 inches of rain in some areas over a 3-day period last week. I've got to think that's going to do some damage to the row crops. So that is important. I think also we see the wheat coming back in as kind of a leader to the upside. I think here again, the drought and the dry weather and the fact that we're hitting record highs or near record highs in the United States wheat belt with very little rain coming in the next 7 days, maybe that's caught the market's attention with that new drought monitor.
All right. Speaking of drought monitor, let's look at that U.S. one. Just like you mentioned, there seems to be a lot more, especially in the southern tier of our country, a lot more orange and brown that's being factored in, though the Midwest is not being held off either.
Yeah, big thing to talk about on the channel final bell is Western Corn Belt, Hard Red Belt versus Eastern Corn Belt in terms of how the models are setting up, which they all are pretty much in agreement for the next 30 to 45 days. So it's going to be an interesting year. Kind of reminds me like 2012 right now.
All right, we'll talk more about that coming up later today during the channel final bell. And if you happen to miss the live broadcast, don't worry. You can pick it up as a podcast as well. That can be found at ruralradionetwork.com. I'm Susan Littlefield for the Rural Radio Network.